Vanquish, God Hard, max time bonus, and 0 deaths. This is mission 5-2. It's called Soldier. I think this is the hardest mission for time with a boss fight in the game. It's so interesting, and it's interesting for a whole host of reasons. But this very first engagement, you want to push forward, killing both the soldiers to push Burns back, and then you want to prioritize using heavy machine gun here. The reason for this is not only is it a good range for heavy machine gun, but there's also a refill if you get past this sequence. Whenever Burns starts moving forward, you need to back up, because if you don't, he's going to kill you. There's no cover here if he rushes you, and he kills you faster than almost any other enemy in the game. Burns will kill you faster than the bogies can kill you, which is kind of preposterous, but his gun does that much damage. And what's going to happen is, at certain thresholds of damage on his HP, he's going to back up. You do not have to follow him for the most of this battle. You can just do damage if you can aim and if you can hit. If you're using mouse and keyboard, this is going to be fucking easy, because you can just murder him from a distance, and the moment you take off enough life, it'll transition to being on the carrier, and you don't have to worry about all the enemies. However, that's just not the case on sticks, unfortunately, unless you're some kind of savant, or unless you're playing on the lowest sensitivity and you never touch the analog. It's just not something you're going to be able to do at great distances too effectively. So the strategy is shoot him in the face. If you shoot him in the face, it does the most damage you can do to him, and if you can get him into a sequence like this where he engages you, you can do decent damage to him without having to really try. But you'll notice he takes an incredible measure of punishment. And the moment you move towards this piece of cover, that guy spawns up there, that guy spawns over there, and I think there's sometimes one guy behind cover, so just be careful. And right now, Burns can rush all the way into this room and shoot at you, and so can his lackeys. So you need to be exceptionally careful and keep your eyes on that map whenever you don't have eyes on him. In this point right now, you don't have to move into this next area. If you're confident at hitting from this range, you can trigger the transition from this room, and it will save you the ambiguous mix-up that's coming when you go outside, where a bunch of soldiers jump from both sides, and depending on what they do, depending on what the boss does, and depending on how effectively you take them out, will mean whether or not you die. So, right then, I accidentally fire a rocket. That was not my intention at all. I reload cancelled and accidentally held the trigger, and it ends badly. You'll notice I've not been using the ARS mode much, the ARS mode, and that's a conscious decision, because I want to save it for this part. In this particular sequence, shooting at these enemies on this carrier is difficult to do, because it's moving and your bullets don't go where the reticle points sometimes. So the best thing to do, I find, is to do the melee attack with the heavy machine gun, and then finish the guys off, and get rid of everybody who's with Burns right now. Your focus is on killing them. Killing Burns is an interesting one, and it's a choice. When you come into this mission, there's two things you have to accept. You either do it single segment without dying, or you carry a rocket launcher into the final area and get a rocket launcher on the respawn on the checkpoint in the final area. That's the two choices you have. Both choices are difficult. I think the hardest one is the latter, believe it or not, because you can do a lot of damage against Burns up to the final room, and then as you move towards the final room on the same one life, you can kill all the enemies in the room before entering it, so it's just you and Burns. It's easier when it's just you and Burns, and at that point, if you've done enough damage to him, he won't have much life left. But the problem is, it's so easy to die. You die so fast, and he does so much damage, and there's not many opportunities to hurt him, and you can't use slow motion too much because you'll fail the time limit. The time limit on this level is the true boss, and it's incredibly difficult to get. You have to be really fast. And right now, coming off this elevator, or this lift thing, this carrier, if you haven't killed all those soldiers that were with Burns, they will attack you on this level. So that's the reason why we killed them early. But to give you an idea of the second strategy, which is not what you're going to be seeing, this was the single segment one. When you're in the room with Burns, when you respawn, all of the soldiers do as well. So it's you and a bunch of really accurate minions. And what you want to do at that point is you want to punish every opening that Burns give you with your 3 rockets to do as much damage as you can to his HP. And then you want to grab the other rocket launcher and then do as much damage with those 3 rockets. And at that point, he shouldn't have much HP left. And hopefully you're still alive at that point. And then you can use all 3 grenades you've got, and you can use a bit of slow motion to shoot his face, and fingers crossed you'll kill him. And that's how that second tier works. I might put a video up showing me doing it. But the problem with that strategy is you can't focus on the people. If you focus on the people, you'll fail the time limit every time. And if you don't focus on the people at any point in that battle, and it's 2 or 3 minutes of fighting, you can get instantly killed. And it's really, really frustrating. So the second option is what you're seeing right now, or the first option, sorry, where I'm taking out the soldiers as they turn up, I'm pushing Burns to the back of the arena, I'm making sure that I've got full grenades, I've got an LFE gun just to experiment with, and I have a rocket launcher to carry into that room. Unfortunately, I've used my rocket launcher a few times, so it's not going to be as viable as it would be. Be careful of the spawn coming up here. There's me trying to EMP them, and I had the wrong grenades on, so that was a terrible piece of gameplay from me. But the good news is, I believe we have a refill of grenades, so it's not the end of the world. And I think there's 4 or 5 of these particular enemies. Do you see how fast they put me to death just then? Nothing in the game will kill you as fast as these humans do. These humans and Burns, they have some kind of cheat codes on, because they do ridiculous damage. The only thing half as good as these is the gold Gorgies and the snipers. But just finish these guys off, and then once the last guy is finished, he's just over there, we can get all the ammo we need, and then we can do the final push, which is the most dangerous, but also the most effective. So, do not enter this room prematurely, or you'll be in a world of hurt. Am I going to pick the shotgun up? I am. Interesting. That was a bold decision right there. So, from this perspective, you can kill every single one of these flying paratrooper guys before entering the room, and then it'll just be you and Burns. When it's just you and Burns, it is still a dangerous fight, but it's nowhere near as dangerous as when these people are alive. The strategy for Burns, as I've mentioned, was what you're going to be witnessing. I'm going to be punishing every opportunity he gives me by shooting him in the face. I'm going to use EMPs when I'm uncomfortable when he's close. I'm also going to use melee attacks, because being aggressive really pays off. The melee is the best damage you can do against Burns, but there's a few things you need to know. When you melee him, and you try and throw an EMP to stun him so you can get away without dying, there are times when the stun doesn't work. For whatever reason, he has this capacity to just completely nullify EMPs. I don't know how he does it, I don't know if it's a glitch, I don't know if I was playing wrong, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but there are enough attempts where I got aggressive on Burns, and then my EMP failed, and he murdered me before I could get in cover and regenerate. And you need to be aware of this, because it's going to happen, guys. This is a really tough mission. But now, there's only one guy left, it's just him. So once he falls, we get to engage Burns. And what I'm going to do here is, oh my god, did we get a rocket drop? That is how you know the game wanted me to win. So we get a rocket drop, we get a heavy machine gun. This is everything we need to win right now. We have 3 cigarettes just in case, but I don't think they work on the humans, so you can't even use them, which is unfortunate. Here he comes coming close. Roll away from him, shoot him with a shotgun, come out of cover, go back in cover. Depending on whether or not you die there is up to Burns, because he's killed me before in those moments. But wait for him to oh my god, I missed! Terrible play, guys. Never shoot the rocket unless he's doing something where he stands still and doesn't have his shield up. When he tries to drink the flask, rocket him. When he fires the rocket fist, rocket him. When he just stands and shoots at you, rocket him. Never ever do what I did just then, because you're wasting time and you're wasting damage opportunities. Like right now, perfect opportunity for rocket, and I cock it up. But if you interrupt him when he drinks the flask, he generally comes close. When he comes close, you want to roll away from him, dodge the fist, and then shotgun him. And what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to wait for an opportunity for him to stop, and I'm going to chuck all my grenades. If we can hit him with these, we're going to be, hopefully, one step closer to winning. There was a ton of damage. He's coming forward. He stands still. There's him doing his fist. I do an EMP. I kick him in the face. I shoot him with my gun, because we're going to overheat, so we might as well. I get back in cover, and I somehow live just then. Right now is a scary moment, but you've got to be aggressive, guys. If you're not aggressive, you're going to lose. I throw that EMP, because I think he's going to flank me and kill me. Hit him with a shotgun, get back in cover, get my heat back. Now it's just me and him. I'm going to boost towards him after this attack, and I'm going to finish him off. That's the theory. Because I'm getting really aggressive, because I know it will work. So boost, kick him in the mouth, and then he's done. You don't even have to shoot. And then fingers crossed, did you do it in under, I think it's, is it 9 minutes? I think it's 9 minutes 30 you get. Anything over that and you're fucked. But there you go, 9 minutes, 6 seconds, 0 deaths, 5,000 completion time bonus. If you can do that, you can do every mission in this game, because that one is one of the most frustrating. The only other one that's even remotely close is Giant, because Giant took me forever. It's just really, really difficult to get the time limit. And then, of course, the finale's coming up, guys, which we're all looking forward to, where we get to dance with the double bogies.